What is happening, friends? I'm Rogue, and welcome to my beginner's guide to Lord of the Rings Online. Now, before we get too deep, I'm not super far in this game by any stretch of the imagination, but I have managed to pick up a few things while playing that could maybe help a newcomer like myself in their quest to join the one adventure to rule them all. Thank you guys for joining me, and let's get started. Okay, so choosing your race. This is going to be your very first step in Lord of the Rings Online. Aside from the Beorning, which is a race class combo, there are 6 races to choose from when deciding who you want to play in LOTRO. Based on what race you are interested in, they are limited to the class that they can choose from. Each of the races have their own beginning areas and epic storyline to get your character invested in the fate of Middle-earth. After your character's prelude tutorial area, you're going to begin in either Erdlune if you chose an elf or a dwarf, Breeland for the humans and the Beornings, and finally the Shire for hobbits. There are no wrong choices here. This is a flavor choice. All areas can take you to the desired level of advancement to get your hero's feet wet and started on their adventure. Okay, so you've decided what race you're interested in. Now it's time to pick a class. I'm sure there are 1,000 best solo whatever guides out there, and if that's your thing, have at it. But choosing a class is heavily dependent on what you enjoy playing. LOTRO has a great variety of classes, 11 to be exact, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. It all comes down to what flavor of hero you prefer to tackle the vast world of Middle-earth with. Now, some classes are obviously better at certain roles than others when it comes to group play, but all of them are viable for overland questing and filling desired roles within a fellowship. There is a video under both the race and class tabs if you are unsure what to play to give you a small glimpse into the race or class. My advice, play with fun. Stop hunting for the meta play and start thinking about the fun to play. Okay, now that you've decided the who and what that you want to play, you're going to begin in an introduction series of quests to get your character into the story. Within these quests, you will not be able to leave your introduction area until you have finished this quest series. Once completed, you're going to be able to go to other zones and select wherever you wish to adventure. Nothing is stopping a human from running all the way to the Shire to play there instead of Breeland, or a hobbit from visiting the mountains of Erdlune. But for starters, my recommendation is to keep with your epic quest. These quests are recognizable by the fiery ring that is above the quest giver NPC. Follow those and they'll take you in the right direction. Be ready to read. This game has a lot of what they call drama moments where NPCs have text just float above their head, and it can sometimes pop off pretty quickly. It's also worth mentioning that this game houses a great deal of world lore within the quests themselves. Almost every quest giver you come across can have anywhere from a paragraph of reasoning as to why they need you to go to Area A to kill Creature B, up to a novelle's worth of backstory as to what happened to Gmaw's cottage and why you should be the hero to take it out on the orcs. There is a lot of reading, but it is good. And hey, if reading isn't your thing and you just want to ignore that and follow the ring and click on the glowy thing, that's okay too. LOTRO's looting system dumps all possible loot into a loot bag that appears in the bottom right of your screen, and holds it for up to an hour. This allows you to quest without having to loot every enemy and giving you the freedom to quest unhindered by inventory management during this time period. But it can be easy to forget from time to time, so be sure to check it occasionally for possible good loot drops or quest starting items. Alright, you've done your intro quest, you've started to get some levels. At level 6, you're going to gain access to your class's specialization. You can open the traits panel for your class specialization by pressing the J key, which is assigned by default. You gain a trait point every odd level from level 7 to 105. Within the trait panel, there are 3 specializations to choose from, each varying greatly depending on which class you decided to play. Be sure to read them and choose whichever one suits your desired playstyle. It's also worth mentioning that you receive 2 loadouts that you can switch between as long as you're not in combat, and can reallocate your points at any time for a small sum of coins. After you have finished with your introduction quest series, you'll be able to locate the bank to store both crafting goods and many of the bonus items you were gifted through the gift box. You can upgrade how many slots your main bank vault has with either coins or LOTRO points, but the coins scale pretty quickly. The bank is marked on your map and mini-map as a pile of coin symbol and is usually located in most major towns and cities. The auction house is represented by a gavel on the map and is a nice place to upgrade any equipment that you can't craft yourself or to purchase items for your crafting vocations. Now, to use the auction house to sell, you must either be a paying member or use LOTRO points to unlock available auction slots. Alright, let's talk about crafting. Starting at level 5, you can complete a quest called Outfitting Yourself and Others, which will direct you towards the nearest crafting area depending on your starting location. This quest begins when you open the gift box and finish your starter quests. There are 7 vocations in Lord of the Rings Online. Each comes with 3 crafting professions. Crafting in LOTRO is very viable and usually rewards you with gear that far surpasses questing items. Be sure to invest some time into your chosen vocation to kit out your hero. Here is a brief overview of the crafting vocations. Explorer. This vocation focuses on tailoring light and medium armor that's crafted from hides that you gain from killing the local wildlife. It also has 2 gathering skills, Forester, which is used to process the hides as well as process wood, and Prospector for gathering and processing ores and gems. Historian. This vocation focuses on the scholar and farmer skills to craft dyes for cosmetic outfits, books for hunters, minstrels, and lore masters, oils and enchantments for hunters. Furthermore, the scholar skill is also useful for making buff potions and scrolls, as well as sheet music for minstrels, but also comes with farmer for cooking ingredients and pipe weed, and weaponsmithing to craft not only melee weapons, but also some burglar items such as marbles and caltrops, provided you can purchase the required ore from a prospector. Tinker. This vocation focuses on jewelry craft and is the only profession capable of crafting rings and necklaces in the game. Armed with the prospector skill as well as the cooking skill, this is a fine choice for a vocation that is relatively self-sufficient in jewelry craft with the ability to create buff food for yourself and any fellowship members, provided you can purchase the food ingredients. Alright, that brings us to the woodsman. This vocation is able to use processed materials from their forester skill to make weapons such as clubs, spears, javelins, or a bow. With the woodworker skill, they're also able to forge minstrel instruments and Beorning carvings. Their third skill is farming, which allows them to supply cooks with valuable food ingredients used in crafting buff food, coffee, and pipe wheat. Next we have the armorer, your classic heavy armor blacksmith. Comes equipped with metal smithing, which is used to craft heavy armors and shields. Tailor for light and medium armors, provided you can purchase the processed hides from a forester, and prospector for gathering valuable ores and gems. The armsman focuses their craft mostly around making metal weapons such as axes, daggers, and swords. Though they are capable of crafting marbles and caltrops for the burglar class, they come with the woodworker skill for crafting bows and the like, provided they can purchase the processed materials from a forester, and the prospector skill for gathering ores for their crafted weapons. Finally, we have the yeomen, who are the chefs of Middle-earth. This vocation specializes in being able to farm their own ingredients with the farmer skill, but also turn these materials into buff foods and the like with the cooking skill. Although they also come with the tailor skill for crafting light and medium armors, they do require a forester to provide the processed hides from wildlife. Upon completing the tutorial quest, you will unlock the Milestone skill. This allows you to bind to major towns and questing areas and acts as your Hearthstone, allowing you to fast travel back to your chosen bound location. This skill has a cooldown, so it's usually better to use it if you're a great distance away or have a bunch of quests to turn in and don't feel like running. Speaking of not running, there are stables dotting the lands of Middle-earth that are marked by a horse's head on both your map and minimap. Be sure to interact with everyone you see to unlock its location. These autopathing ponies are great if you have a long haul to make and want to just enjoy the ride. Now, there is a small fee for their use, but it is very affordable. Let's talk about racial traits. As you gain levels, you will unlock the racial trait panel, usually around level 13. To gain access to these racial traits, you must complete a specific deed in order to have access to the chosen trait. We'll get into deeds a little bit later on, but it is worth mentioning that you should pursue these racial traits as soon as they are available to you. The level range for most racial traits starts at around level 13 and ends at around level 35. Alright, let's talk about deeds. The deed log is accessed after you have completed your introduction quest and defeated an enemy type or discovered a unique location in your starting area. This deed log acts sort of as a record of your achievements in Middle Earth, and by completing them, you gain reputation, titles, virtue experience, and most importantly, LOTRO points that can be used on the cash shop. Pursuing these deeds is worthwhile for purchasing the writing skill early on. Beyond that, it is up to you what your LOTRO points are good for. Virtues. Virtues are a type of slottable passive trait that become available at levels 7, 9, 11, 17, and 23. At each of these levels, you unlock a new slot to place a chosen virtue. Simply drag the virtue you want to the unlocked slot to gain its bonuses. Virtues grant bonuses to stats and are an important part of improving your hero. Each virtue offers bonuses to 3 different stats. The first stat offers the greatest bonus, and the third offering the smallest bonus to your character. To increase a virtue's rank, you must select a virtue you wish to earn experience for simply by clicking on it, and then complete deeds that award virtue experience, certain repeatable quests, or some dungeons known in LOTRO as instances. Much like your class specializations, these virtues can be changed at any time that you're not in combat. Okay, let's talk about skirmish camps. At level 20, you will have access to skirmish camps and unlock the quest Reporting In. These camps can be located in Bree, Brockenboring Skirmish Camp in the Shire, and within Thorin's Hall in Erdlune. You will be asked to speak with the skirmish captain, who will run you through a tutorial skirmish to get you accustomed to how they work. Completing these skirmishes rewards you with marks that can be used to purchase an assortment of items from the surrounding skirmish vendors that are marked by little blue flags on your minimap. Let's talk about the Instance Finder. The Instance Finder is a tool that can be used to create or look for a fellowship to complete an instance or a skirmish. Personally, I find the Instance Finder to be lackluster and had much easier time using World Chat to find a group or whatever instance I was looking to complete. It is worth mentioning that you can adjust the level of the instance to a lower difficulty, therefore increasing your chance of running the instance or skirmish solo. But if you are truly looking for the group experience the way I was, I would recommend joining a guild or a kinship as they're called in LOTRO. In my experience, that has been the path of least resistance, and for the most part, the community is very helpful and friendly towards new players. You'll be running dungeons in no time. Okay, let's summarize. Follow your epic questline, be ready to get your read on, utilize the versatility of being allowed to switch your class specialization, whether you're doing overland content or looking for a fellowship to do an instance or skirmish. Don't forget to update your milestone for your current questing area. Remember to keep an eye on your loot bag from time to time, whether it be for quest starting items or good loot drops. Spend some time on your crafting vocation to better prepare you for adventure. Pursue your racial traits via deeds. Be sure to always be gaining virtue experience to better trim out your hero. Hit up the skirmish tutorial at level 20 to get your feet wet with skirmishes and instances. Make use of the Instance Finder if needed, but don't be afraid to ask in World Chat for advice or a kinship. And finally, play what's fun. If you're new to LOTRO or looking for people to play with, or both, the server I play on and my character's name can be found in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helps someone, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment your favorite aspect of LOTRO down below. Consider subscribing to keep Mordor at bay, and have a great day. Goodbye.